And we are in there. Alexa, pause. Let me get the mic. It's gonna be a glorious day. How do I? Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go live. Now I'm excited. Talk to me, people. Where are you logging in from? Let's go ahead and do it. Okay. Let me know where you're watching me from. I have to know. I have to know where everyone is. I got to know where you are because, man, that sounds real stalkerish. That's not what I'm trying to do. How y'all doing? What's going on TikTok? What's going on Instagram? Let's go ahead and open it up. As well, you know, I'm Xavier, the dating coach. And today, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about, we need to talk about communication. Because the word on the street is there's a lot of guys that say they can't communicate. How many of y'all are buying that? I can't communicate. I can't communicate. What do you mean you can't communicate? You know what's really burning my biscuit? Got my book. It's great. Thank you for so much for getting my book. What do you like about it? Thank you so much. You know what really burns my biscuits? Is that these guys will say, I can't communicate. But yet they go to work and they communicate with their boss. Explain that. They communicate with their parents. They communicate with their exes. They respect their ex and their boss more than you. That's what that means. Because the reality behind communication, or a lot of communication, is respect. If I don't know, if I don't think I can communicate with you, then why am I staying with you? Because then people will tell me, well, maybe he doesn't feel safe enough, right? Maybe she hasn't created a safe space for him to communicate. But why is he still in this? Okay, then why still be here? Because I don't know, if me personally, if I don't feel like I can get through to you, I'm not gonna be here. So is that her fault or is that my fault? See, that's what I'm saying is, but then there's also the other side. They can't communicate, but you're still dating them. Why would you want to date someone that can't communicate? Here's the reality, ladies, is that he can communicate. Let's stop this. There's so many excuses going around in the dating field where these people, they're weaponizing incompetence, right? These guys, they weaponize incompetence. They make themselves seem like they can't do something so that they don't accommodate you. They don't want to talk about certain topics. They don't want to talk about where they've been or what they've been up to because that would give away their hand. Because the reality is they're trying to get away with stuff. That's got nothing to do with the woman. Blaming a woman for your inability to move forward is your problem. That's your fault. And see, what they do is they say, well, maybe you need to work harder. And some of you ladies, let me tell you, some of you ladies have these nurturing spirits where you want to help work with a guy. You want to help him get there, right? You want to help him. This guy, he should have learned that with his parents. Why are you taking on the role of his parents? Do you want that role for the rest of your life? Do you want to always be the woman that he has to go to in order to learn how to communicate? Or do you want him to step up one day? See, I don't think sometimes we realize what we're signing up for. Right? We're saying, oh, I want a man to be a leader. I want him to lead. I want him to step up. I want him to make me feel safe. I don't want to think when I'm around this guy. I don't want to think. Yet you're doing all the thinking. I've heard some ladies say, well, I could look up the therapy appointment for him. I went on Google and I found him a therapist. Girl, what are you doing? He's got two thumbs. I would say in most cases, you're dating a guy that has thumbs or access to a device where he could type it in himself. Why are you typing it in for him? Why are we doing this to you? Why did we give you the job? I'm going to be honest. A lot of the reasons why a lot of us have been in bad relationships too long or dating situations too long is because of excuses. Here's the thing. Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say the person really does struggle. Let's say the person really is a narcissist. They got narcissistic personality disorder. Let's say they have avoidant attachment, anxious attachment. Let's say they have some type of thing where they can't function. Why are you here? If that's true, then leave. You're not happy. Oh, you got avoidant attachment? Man, that sucks. Gotta go. But that's okay. Sometimes we want to stay in, right? We want to play the game. I can help you play the game. But see, a lot of people don't have the heart to play the game. Because we want to find a way to work out the situation. Because number one, we don't want to be alone. We don't want them to date someone else and have a better situation than they had with us. We don't want to feel invalid. We have past childhood wounds. We have abandonment wounds. We can't deal with someone leaving us that we've given our heart to. We feel like we're invested and we can't just let it go. Oh my goodness. So while we're in the thick of it, while everything is hot right now, I'm having a free webinar on how to manage these situations. I've put it into categories so that you don't have to be tripped up in the dating field anymore. If you want to learn more about it, go ahead and click the link in my bio and click the link that says free webinar. There is a webinar next Sunday. Make sure you sign up. I will be sending out notifications tonight. Make sure you get on that ASAP. Click the link for the free webinar. It's happening next Sunday because I got some answers for y'all. I got some answers that are going to shock y'all that I do not say on the internet. So y'all got to be, if you really want it, if you're an action taker, then let's go ahead and take action. So back to the question. Sometimes they just need their ex in their life to help bridge gaps. Oh yeah. Here's what I would tell you. When you date someone, right? When you date a guy and he goes back to his ex, let me tell you, it's already over. It's over. You know how many times I've had clients and I was able to tell them it was over and they didn't believe me because they were like, how do you know that so fast? I'm like, because I know. I've done this for years. I know. I've seen it happen several times. And we so badly want to be the exception. Of course there's an exception to every rule. People win the lottery. But am I going to bank all of my savings on a possible lottery win? No. I'm not going to do that because that's going to make me lose, right? So why do we do it with our feelings? Why do we gamble so much of our feelings on situations that don't work out for most people? Why do we always think we can be the exception? We need to stop basing love on being the exception. Right? Let's stop playing the exception game. It either is or it isn't. It's either showing you or it's not. It either feels good or it doesn't. It's that simple. But anyway, I'm going to start asking questions. I'm going to start answering questions. Let me see. They're rolling in. Emotional damage, they need to take time. Okay. Why do avoidant discard you when then they want to come back? Because they don't like it when you get too close. People with avoidant attachment style is an unhealthy attachment style. They need to work on it. The only way to be with someone that's an avoidant is to deal with them leaving you, cheating on you, and developing relationships outside of you every time you get close. You need to accept that that's how they move. They don't like conflict. They don't like seriousness. They don't like closeness. They feel like they're getting caught up. I know. I've had tons of clients that were avoidants. They hate it. So they're more likely to cheat on you. That's the reality. So either you're going to deal with that or you're going to date someone that's not an avoidant. That's your only option. If you get engaged and you are less happy than before, is that a bad sign? Yes, that's a bad sign. That's very bad. When you get engaged, that should be one of the happiest moments of your life. That should be one of the moments that you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening. It should be like literally one of the best moments. If you're less happy, then there's something very wrong. I would say come to my webinar. I get freaked out by a man who says, I will never hurt you. Why say that when you first meet? So I would say the fact that he says that is unrealistic. You don't know that, right? Because sometimes you hurt someone unintentionally. So that's probably why you get freaked out by that, because he's making promises that he most likely cannot keep. That's not a realistic promise. I hate a man who says I'm not like other men. Yeah, because he's lying. As long as you got the same male body parts, you got something in common. How do I get past the feeling bad about myself after staying in a toxic relationship because I was afraid to be alone? Well, instead of trying to get past it, why don't you accept it? You know, sometimes if you try so hard to work past the feeling, it actually makes it worse because you're not dealing with the feeling. Sometimes you need to sit in the feeling and admit to yourself and own the fact you stayed in this relationship because you didn't want to be alone. The thought of being alone scared you, it frightened you, but here's the good news. That's not abnormal to feel. That is very normal to feel, right? A lot of us don't want to be alone and we stay in toxic relationships. But that's also something for you to own. Don't run away from it. Sink into the feeling and also start to move forward from it. I was like this, but I will be better, right? When you can start to adjust your mind to that, then you will naturally start to move past it. But don't try to skip past it like it didn't happen, because then you won't deal with the feeling. Found out that he did cheat on me at the end of the relationship. Yep. Avoidance, they usually cheat. What do some people blame you? What do you mean by that question? Blame who? You? I trigger him about how he was treating me bad, then he discarded me. Yeah, because he doesn't want to take accountability. You can trigger someone by making them take accountability. But here's the thing. There's not too many people that like accountability. In fact, a lot of people hate it. So naturally, most people are going to get triggered by taking accountability. A lot of people don't like to be heard that they were wrong, that they messed up, that they did something incorrectly. A lot of people don't like to deal with that. So that's not really like a, oh my goodness, it's just a toxic person. Most people don't like that. It's a hard feeling to deal with. But that doesn't make it right for them to try to, fight you for it. Like, that's not good behavior. How to leave a toxic kid's dad alone, 20+ relationship, but I'm just done. You need help. I can't tell you that in one live. You would have to work with me. Like I said, come to my webinar. Click the link in the bio. Come to my webinar. I answer a lot of these questions. Why do men come back in your life just to go, telling you they're serious about you, then go back to their ex? Because they want to use you. They think you are of use. You're their safe space. So think about it this way. When a car is running for a long time and it runs out of gas, you got to take it to the gas station in order to get souped up again to go back out. They're using you as a stop. They're saying, okay, I want to come to you to heal me. I want to think of all the relationship stuff. I want you to treat me like a king. I want you to treat me like we're in love again. And then the second they start to get their ego boosted and their pride back and they feel like a man again, then they leave you and they use it on the next woman. So you have to stop being the person that they come to whenever they're depleted, because they will come back to you just to be replenished. A lot of guys do that. They will use you. They will use your energy, your time, your space. They will use you. Someone broke up with me saying that I create issues when I talk about how I feel. Well, here's how you can look at it. They take it as an issue, right? It might be an issue for them, not an issue for you. So that's the thing, is that people try to generalize how they feel and they like to project it as a fact. Like, oh, well, we all feel this. That's not true. That's not true. He pursued me for a whole year. I wasn't feeling it because I was recently divorced. I ended up falling for him and he stopped everything he was doing and is very avoidant. Doesn't make sense. Because he liked the chase more than he liked having you. A lot of guys don't like actually having you because there's a responsibility with that. If you start to like me and I start to like you back, then now we have to be in a relationship and now we have to be a couple and I have to actually be accountable. No, I liked it better when you were going through the divorce when I didn't have to be responsible for you. I liked it when you had a man and you had a husband that took care of everything, took care of all the hard stuff, and you came to me as a getaway. I want to be your vacation. I want to be your vacation. I don't want to be your reality because then I have to start being responsible. A lot of guys don't want to be responsible for you. They just want to be your getaway, your vacation, your side dude. That actually happens quite often. He told me he's in love with me, but he also told his ex. Should I end it? Child involved. Wait, what? He's in love with me, but he also told his ex. He don't love you. That's what that means. He doesn't love you. He said it to you and his ex. He's just playing y'all. So you make a decision on what you want to do, but he is clearly just playing with your heart. This dude just wants what he wants. Thank you so much. It makes complete sense now. Absolutely. See, I'm going to be real with y'all ladies because I love y'all. So I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to make sure that you understand the nitty gritty details of what you're dealing with. Because I think the problem is a lot of the times we try to lighten it. We try to make light of it. We try to deliver it nicely. But that's hurting people because they're not getting the full effect. You need to know how dirty this is and how disgusting and how wretched this situation is. You said, huh? What'd you say, huh, to? But yeah, so what I'm gonna tell you, ladies, because I keep seeing a similar pattern in your questions. Why does this guy come back and then walk away? Why does this guy say he loves me and then he doesn't say anything? Why does this guy want me and then all of a sudden he doesn't? Because he got what he wanted. See, guys, you have to understand, especially when it comes to, sex, a lot of guys disassociate themselves from it. They don't put themselves in it. They don't look at it as we're bonding from this. They look at it as a transaction. They look at it as, oh, there's something I can just do, wipe my hands clean. It's a handshake. So what you'll have to do is try to understand what type of guy that you're working with. Are you working with the type of guy that views intimacy, not just sex, but all kinds of intimacy, as an emotional investment for a long-term situation, or is it somebody that just wants to play around? That's what we got to figure out. Same way the other way around. There's women that play around too. And for the guys, for the fellas who are looking for something real, we got to be careful too, right? And we can't let the cheap fun get in the way of our mission. We can't let the flattery steer us away from the vision, right? We got to stick to the course, stick to the plan. Don't play games, right? So that's what we have to do. How to figure that out. That's why you go to my webinar. You go to my webinar. All these little answers that I'm giving you, there's a bigger picture to all of this. There is a bigger picture to all of this where you'll have a lot more insight. Click the link in my bio for the webinar free next Sunday. I want to see y'all in this. I want to see action takers. If you want to have the dating field figured out, if you want to know how I got 1,500 women to get what they want, if you want to know how I got women to date men that they never thought they could get, this is what I've done. I got the proof. I teach therapists. I teach people. I teach classes. You will get this information. If you don't, you might miss out. So don't miss out because I don't have a million spots, right? There's only but so much that it lets me host. So make sure that you get in before everyone else does. Because if they miss it, then oh well. Then they'll have to wait till my next one. And I don't know when these things are. He proposed himself and he says that his father married his mother, saying that he has nothing and may not be able to provide are going to, what? Hold on, this is a long one. Hey D, how you doing? Talking about wish I could stay longer tonight. Looking forward to your webinar. Thank you so much, Shannon. We'll definitely make sure. And you guys will be getting text messages. For those of you who have signed up to the webinar, you will be getting a text alert. So we're gonna make sure that you get what you need. You've done a lot of work research with narcissism. Good job, thank you. But I used to be a manipulator myself. So that's also, you're getting information from the source. I was a heavy manipulator. I had narcissistic ways, and I went to therapy and I healed from that. So I was not the healthiest guy myself. I was bad. I was very bad. I'm not proud of it, but I am proud of my journey of healing. He proposed himself and he says that his father and his mother married, saying he has nothing and it may not be able to provide. Are you going to be with me even if I can't buy a ring? I don't know. I mean, does he treat you right? But today, for most guys, physical appearance is most important, and so many girls dress half naked and attract them to chase sex instead of a real connection. So, to add on to that, a lot of people are superficial now. A lot of people have superficial values. There's nothing wrong with liking a pretty person. There's nothing wrong with being physically attractive. There's nothing wrong with liking someone who's set up in their life. But the problem is we've made that such a priority that people are not looking at character. People aren't building character like they used to. Character matters way more than all of this, right? We can do all of this stuff, but character is what's not only going to help you navigate the dating field a lot better, but it's going to keep you in the right relationships. It's going to make sure that your relationships work out. If you just think looks and money are going to hold on to people, good luck. Because there's a lot of pretty people. And if you got enough money, you could become a pretty person. A lot of people have money. There's no competition there. But there's a lot of competition there. But character is something that we are lacking in today's society. There's no competition with character. It's not that much. Not too many people who have good character. In fact, the people that do have good character get in trouble by the people who don't have character. They say, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you treating them so nice? Because I know when a good person is in my life. If I have a good woman, for example, for me, if I have a good woman in my life, there's no way I'm going to care about what other people tell me. I'm not going to listen to the boys that are like, well, you got to treat her bad. Well, you got to play with her. Well, you can't let her get too much. You can't let her feel like she's got you. Like, why not? If she's a good woman, I want to give her everything. I want to make her feel like she is one of the biggest priorities in my life. When a man marries a woman, her needs become his priority. And I damn sure am going to marry someone that I can pour into. I don't want to marry someone I have to play the game with. Oh, I could like you one day and then the next day, I don't know. Oh, I can hang out with you this day, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. I got to play the game. I got to make sure I'm playing wishy-washy. I got to be wishy-washy with her. I don't want to do this, and I won't. I'm not going to be with someone unless I can love them fully, and they are ready for it. They're not going to be insecure about it. They're not going to doubt it. They're going to know that they deserve this kind of love, and that's what we all should be fighting for. Otherwise, you're going to be playing a game. And that's okay. I know how to play the game. So if you want to play the game, I can tell you how to play. But for me personally, I'm over that. I can't do it no more. I love peace. Peace is just, oh my goodness, you can't put a price on peace, man. Like, I want to come home to an environment and just like relax. I don't want my home environment to be a place of stress and animosity and volatility. So I look at it this way. There's so many other things in the world that are giving us problems. Why should we have it in our own house? Inflation rates are going up. Crime rates are going up. People are losing jobs. People are not happy as they used to be. Depression is going up. Big Pharma is pushing all kinds of crazy chemicals in our food, making us have bad mentalities, making us not see or think straight. There's so much going on, and you want to have a problem in your relationship on top of all of that? Now I got to have it in the house too? No, you deserve a peaceful environment. You deserve someone that's there to comfort you and make you feel like everything is going to be okay. And that the world out there is not going to affect the world in here. That's what I want you to have. Thank you so much for helping people with your videos. Truly appreciate sending light. Thank you so much, Karishma. Thank you, Girl23. Good to see you. Very good perspective. Thank you. What are the big issues for men nowadays? Do you agree that many are indecisive about what they want? Yes, I think so. I think men in the past definitely ruined a lot of the dating scene. I think they definitely take the cake on that. I think that now women, are starting, instead of, thank you so much. Thank you, Mary Power. Thank you for the heart. And I think what's happening now is that women have been incentivized to act like men, right? Thank you so much, Angel. I think women used to be the ones that were holding it down, right? They were holding it down. They were the ones that were making sure everything was all right, the emotional, cushion for the family. And I think that women were holding it down. And I think women got tired of that. They got tired of hearing, oh, she got played, my mom, 2-3 divorces. Like, I think that it just got real weird out here. So I think that women started to adopt the mentality of men and say, well, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Like, I'm going to do what I got to do out here because you're not doing it. You're not leading properly. You're not, trying to hold it down with my family. I don't want to be out here, oh, well, I got to deal with this guy for 20, 30 years. I don't want to have to deal with that. I'll get my own job, make the same amount of money as you, if not more, get my own place, and then live like that. Yep, then we're criticized for being masculine. I think that's so weird to call a woman masculine for taking care of herself. Like, here's the thing. I think that taking care of yourself is just a mandatory for every human, right? That's not, but yes, they will call you that because it's a threat to your bond with them, right? See, anytime you do something as a woman where a man feels like, oh, well, if I try to date you, you're not going to need me for this. If they feel like they're not going to be needed, it's taken as a threat. It's taken as a threat. So they're going to use words to invalidate you. And it happens the other way around too. Men do get it too. Like, if men show that they're okay, then women sometimes criticize those men too. The reality is that as humans, we get a little bit offended by people that try to rebel against us, right? That make us feel like we're not useful or that we're not needed or that we're not special or there's nothing that we can offer. See, this is why I personally will say I need a woman. I will never say I don't need women. I need a woman. I need women in my life. I need it, okay? I will submit to that ideology that I need it. Because I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I don't need it, I don't whatever. And then what type of energy am I putting out in the world acting like that? Right? Because now I'm putting out negative energy because I really do want a woman in my life. I really do want someone special, but I'm walking around saying, I don't need this, I don't need it. So I'm putting out energy that's the opposite of what I actually want. Now, practically, yes, technically, if you have enough resources, you can make enough things happen that you don't exactly need a man to do that you are dating. But I do think that as men and women, we have separate things that make us unique, right? There are things we could do as individuals as different genders that make us unique, right? That the other cannot do. I think that as people, as individuals, we all have our own gifts and we can offer things to each other that other people can't. I think that we all are special and unique in our own ways. And I think it's important to learn that. So yes, not only do I need a woman in my life, but I need people, right? I need people because without people, I'm nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'm okay. I think we need to do a better job of being a little bit more vulnerable and stop acting so tough. It's okay, right? And it's okay, but you don't have to be tough. You don't have to be hard, right? You can be love. And if you don't want to be, I'm not going to stop you. But what I'm saying is that a lot of the times in society, we move on a defense, right? We're just sitting and waiting for someone to do something to us, and we're waiting, right? Like, oh, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna mess with me? You gonna play games? Uh-oh, I gotta be ready to dodge. Like, that's literally how we start to move. But instead, what we could be doing is moving on the offense, right? That's such a weird word to me, offense. On the offense, we could say, okay, let me scope out where your problem is so I know what I can work with and what I can't, right? Like, move forward. Don't keep trying to wait for someone. Move into it. Start to tap them, right? Like, what's this? What's that? When I talk to someone, let's say I'm talking to someone new, I question everything. I question things that's probably even gonna make them uncomfortable. Like, let's say they have something going on, right? That doesn't make sense to me. I'll say, what does that mean? Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you for the snap. I don't know why I'm doing this, but thank you, Hannah. Thank you for the snap. So, it's like you find out. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can enter in the chat here. They don't have the chat box. Oh, here we go. Comment. Okay, let me see. Click link in bio for free webinar. I had to do it for TikTok, y'all, because I'm on TikTok. And there's people in and out this live. Okay, how do I pin it? Pin the comment. Yo, did it. Okay, now we can get back to business. Looking for solutions and to be productive in a relationship. Yes, absolutely. And I think that's something we should all be looking for. That's something we should all be looking for. If you are not dating someone that is solution oriented, you are wasting your time. If you are not dating someone that is solution oriented, you are wasting your time. You're absolutely wasting your time. If someone just wants to sit in the problem, they don't want to do anything about it, they don't want to move forward, they just want, just deal with it. Girl, you got the wrong guy. Especially, that's weird for guys, because guys usually like to label themselves as the fixers. It's funny, they're the fixers till they got to communicate, right? Like, he'll ask to see me, then I will be like, you've been ignoring me, I'm seeing you. He ignores me. Well, when you say it like that, it sounds accusatory, right? Sometimes delivery matters, right? Not saying that you're wrong, but sometimes we have to be cognizant of delivery. If you say, oh, you're ignoring me, you're calling out a behavior that he may not agree with. And then what he's gonna do is potentially he's gonna retreat. So what I would say is, if you're gonna talk to him about it, you have to get him to open up about what's been going on. Why are you feeling this way? I notice I haven't heard from you lately. Maybe it's me. See, when you approach a partner or when you approach someone you love or relationship, you don't want to focus so much on trying to make them see they're wrong. You want to talk about how you feel and leave them room to see they're wrong, right? Or to give that approach. Now, if they're unhealthy, what they're gonna do is they're just gonna start to tell you where you're wrong, right? Their first instinct is gonna be, well, here's your problem. That's not someone you want. That's not someone you want. You can't pin comments anymore? Yo, this is so stupid. Man, TikTok is so annoying with this. I'm gonna have to put a background photo like I used to do back in the day. You can pin the comment on Instagram. Unless you're talking to a narcissistic person. Yeah, but if you are, then you are. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret about narcissists, right? I'm gonna give you a little bit of detail on how narcissists work. You will never have a mutual, respectful relationship with them. You will not get it. You will never have a mutual, respectful relationship. It is dominate or be dominated. Either you're going to be the one that gets dominated or you're going to dominate them. That's the kicker. You will never be in a mutual. If you try to make them into a mutually respectful person, you have a better chance at getting a dog to meow. Doesn't work like that. You are out of your pay grade. You need to learn to accept. And that's what they do. They dominate you because that's how love is to them. It is win or lose. Win or lose mentality. That's it. No, oh, well, maybe we can find a way to. No. Either you're going to play the game or they're going to play the game. And when they play the game, they go dirty. That's the thing. If they could play a dirtier game than you, you're going to lose. The only way you can win with these people, kinda, is if you can play dirty. But then you have to ask yourself, why do you even want that kind of relationship? Really? How do you know when they're looking for help, not love? You may not know. Why does it matter? You gonna help them? You know how you know when they're looking for help? When they go find it. When they go find a therapist. When they go get a counselor. Not through you. Sometimes we need to not have the mentality that we're the saviors for people with mental disorders or for people with unhealed trauma. We're not the saviors, right? Unless you're gonna be a therapist, it's not happening, right? And that's my job. I do that type of stuff. I wouldn't do this outside of my job. I can't be in a relationship with someone that I need to therapize. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm gonna do. If I meet a girl and she's got trauma that she's dealing with and that she's working through, I'm gonna say, well, you gotta find a therapist. Because that's not what I want in a relationship. I wanna be an equal. I wanna be a partner. I don't wanna be like, oh, well, I have to be the one to tell you how to get it together all the time. Like, nah, man, we're adults. Your eyes are stunning. Thank you. Have you been with a narcissist? No, but I have been narcissistic myself. You're talking to someone that used to be that way. So if you want answers, you got the source right here. Now, I'm not a diagnosed narcissist, but I was highly manipulative and I acted just like a narcissist. I had the same exact mindset. So you're talking to someone that's got it. Like that, I used to do it. I was married to one for 19 years. He definitely dominated me. Yep, that's usually what happens. And I don't get why they continually cheat on their partner but want to stay with them. Maybe you didn't hear what I said earlier. You are the replenisher. You are the replenisher. You are where they go when they're down, when they feel like the outside world isn't secure enough. They can't get away with it. They want to be replenished, but they want to use you. They are using you. Toxic people like to use people. They like to keep you around because you give them security. You make them feel normal. You make them feel like I got somewhere to go at the end of the day. I don't have to be out here in these streets and then go back home alone to someone that doesn't care about me. I don't have to be alone. I got you. You're going to treat me with love. You're going to be right there when I'm down. When I go out there and girl number 3 is acting crazy on me, I'm going to come back home to you. And I'm going to tell you I love you. Bring me back. Nurse me back to health. That's what I want. I adore him, but he doesn't get me gifts like any, even on special occasions. Is that weird? If your love language is gifts, then yes, that's not going to work for you. Can you really change? So here's the thing. Diagnosed narcissists don't change, right? They never change. Now, they can work through some things and maybe get a little bit better, right? They can work through some things and get a little bit better. But the reality is they don't change. So you were conscious of why you were manipulating. No, I was not conscious of why I was manipulating. But I knew that I was hurting the person in front of me. But I cared more about my feelings than hers. Does that make sense? Are narcs conscious of when they're manipulating? They're aware of hurting you. They are very aware of when they're hurting you. And here's the thing. Even if they're not aware, why does it matter? Are you going to forgive him? You're going to work with that for the next 10 years? Like, here's the thing. Does someone not being aware mean that you have to stay in a relationship with them? If anything, that's even less of an incentive. We think because I mean, if that's the mentality that they're going to wake up one day, do men care about the woman they're lying to or the woman they are telling the truth to? So here's what I would say. Most men will care about the woman as much as she requires them to. If you allow a man to lie to you and keep lying to you and getting away with it, then he's going to think this is okay. You have to set up the standard and the requirement. If you don't do it, then they won't do it. You are in control. Do narcs like to plant ideas in people's heads? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. In fact, they like to make it seem like they are the best thing in the world for you while also making it seem like you can't have them. They're going to play with you. It's all about the game. You are at the convenience of their emotions, a slave essentially. Yep. That's the truth. I've learned the hard way. I'm not the savior. I was taught through religion. We as women are saviors. Who taught you that? What kind of religion is that? Women are saviors. He's being honest with me, but not the girls he's with. Well, that's as far as you know. Because here's the thing, you openly know that he's lying to other women. You don't think that in some cases he might slip a lie into you? Maybe you're the exception, but I haven't known too many people who can disregard people's emotions and then make this one special. You know what I mean? Usually that ends up going across the board. Most of the time, you're gonna be a casualty. They are sick Fs. Ha, you're funny. So, what are green flags in a person at the beginning stages of dating? Green flags are they're actually open with you. They're honest. They're looking to get to know you. They're not looking for intimacy that quickly. They genuinely care about the details that you tell them. They actually listen to you intently. They're not worried about, oh, it's all about me and what I've been through. And they're not playing a victim card. They're actually, talking to you and owning whatever they do. I think a lot of ownership and a lot of openness and transparency without looking for a return. I think that those are green flags. Should you be with a person who had an affair with a married woman who said she was separated at the time? Well, if he thought she was separated, then, here's the thing though. When did he find out that she wasn't separated? What day is your seminar? 26? Yes, it is. It was a cult group that blamed women and stuff went south. Trust me, I'm glad to be. Okay, it was a cult. Yeah. Cults usually demean women. Like, that's what I've noticed about a lot of cults, is that it usually puts down women. It's always gotta put down women in some kind of way. Like, I don't know what that's about. I love your message. Thank you so much. He's swiping up on my story, continually stalking me, but then ignoring me when I respond. Well, what are you trying to do, Sarah? What's your goal here? Because you're talking about a lot of the individual details about your conversations and your behaviors with him. But I want to know, like, what are you trying to accomplish? Because you're going to have to commit to a process here. She said block him. Should you take a guy back that left you, had a baby, now want to come back? Why would you? He went out and had a baby with someone else after leaving you. and now he wants to come back. He wants to be replenished. You think that's a good idea? Let me ask you, outside of emotion, right? Forget how you feel about him. Does that sound like a logical? No, even better. What if your friend asked you this question about a guy? What would you say to your friend? That's probably the answer. I'm just confused. Like, he's continually asking to see me, but then doing that. No, Sarah, Sarah, I'm going to be real with you. You got to tell me what you want. Not that you're confused. I want to know what you want. You got to be real with me. Being confused is a cop-out, right? And I say this out of love because you're not being decisive. You're being on the fence right now. The reality is you need to make a decision. Do you want this man, or do you want to walk away and find someone else? He said, because I couldn't give him a baby. He said, because I couldn't give him a baby. So he went out, he left you, had a baby with someone else, and he's trying to come back. You know, there's so many other options you guys could have gone with. You could have adopted someone. You could have had a surrogate. So why did he choose to cheat on you or to leave you for another woman? And he's saying that's your fault? So it's your fault that he went out, got with someone else, probably fell in love with them. Yo, he could have chosen any other route, but he chose that one. Yeah, okay. I want him to not ignore me, not do that. Well, why don't you tell him? Why don't you just tell him that? Hey, I want to hear from you more. Yes, sir. Act like he did me a favor. You need to work on your worth value. Come on, women. Don't waste your life on men that break your hearts. You're showing more love for him than yourself. The ladies, you got the ladies riled up in this chat right now on both Instagram and TikTok. You got them riled up. And for my besties. Block him. He says he found out later for 6 months. Interesting. Yeah, no. It's really weird to me when a guy leaves a woman, gets with another woman, and then says, but this is your fault. You really want a man he could do that, because think about it. If he could do that now, he could do that at any time. He can do that at any time. He could say, well, you didn't do this for me, right? So that's why I had to go cheat. He's the same type of dude to say, I had to cheat because I wasn't getting what I needed here. You see? It's always your fault. That's the kind of relationship you're going to get. If you sign up for this, that's the exact type of relationship you're about to get. He's about to be always saying that, well, I did this because of you. You know, you made me do this. You made me cheat. You know how many guys actually use that crazy ass excuse? You made me cheat. Like, what in the toxic is going on? Our last conversation, he swiped up on my story. He said, I'm seeing you. Then I said, I'm seeing you. You keep ignoring me. He reads, it doesn't respond. Well, there's nothing you could do. You can beg him. Can you please see me? I mean, what you want looks like it's not possible. So either you have two options. You either give up on hope or you keep focusing on a situation. I just don't understand what he expects. It's not for you to understand. Why are you trying to work so hard to understand? Just look at his actions. See, here's what we got to stop doing, right? Stop thinking so deeply about an interaction. It's not that deep, right? You're trying, because we focus on people that sometimes create distance with us. They ignore us, they ghost us, they don't talk to us. So we try to fill in the blank with what we want to see, right? We try to make it make sense. Don't make it make sense. Stop trying to understand. It's not for you to understand because he's not giving it to you. See, you're trying to fill it in because he's not doing his job. That's the reality. A partner or a person in your life, it is their job to tell you why they're messing up, why things aren't going the way they need to be. So if they're not telling you, then you need to just let it go. Otherwise, you're going to spin your wheels trying to think of every possible conclusion, and you're never going to be able to get it right. There's going to be so many things you're going to come up with. You're going to go on the internet. You're going to be Googling, why does a guy not reply to you? Like, what are we doing? Just look at the actions. Like, is he doing it for a reason? Who cares, Sarah? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Look at the actions. Does the action look like a person that wants you? If he wanted you, do you think this is a way for you to notice that? Dudes, when they want you, they waste no time. They waste no time. You got a dude that is literally ignoring you and walking away from you. You need to look at the reality of his actions. He just don't want it. If he did, he would have done something. It doesn't matter. You can keep fighting me. He does it weekly, but he doesn't ask you out, does he? He replies to your story, but does he ask you out? Nope. Has he offered you to take you on a date? Nope. So what does it matter? I can do that. That's easy. I can send someone a message. And then nothing happens, right? See? No action. It's not confusing. That's what I'm saying, Sarah, is not confusing. You're saying it's confusing. It's obvious. If he says, when can I see you? And your reply is, I'll give you a time and place, and then he doesn't talk to you. That's obvious. He doesn't care. He likes the chase. He likes to know that you're an option. He just wants you as an option. He doesn't want you as a realistic person. He doesn't want you. In fact, he likes having you around. You're probably on a roster at this point. You're probably behind 3 or 4 other girls he's talking to. That's the reality. And you're giving him a priority. You're prioritizing someone that doesn't prioritize you. That's not confusing. You're making it confusing because you don't want to accept the reality. So you want to try to find some rational view to make this not look so bad. No, let it be bad. It's that bad. Dude doesn't care. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart, Justin Robin. People blame themselves for other people's actions instead of being more factual and saying it wasn't a good fit. Yeah, I know. A lot of people do that. I feel like I'm in a narcissistic relationship now. Why is it so hard to leave or get out of it? Because you might be trauma bonded. And never replace you for your selfish needs. I learned it the hard way. Social media helped me get out, and the cycle got even more vicious. Yep. This healing and therapeutic, thank you. He's just using you. He knows you care for him. You'll find someone better because her emotions are involved, and that's why she can't see what it is. No, she can see. She's refusing. See, that's what I mean. You have to understand. At that point, that's on you. If you're allowing your emotions to get the better of you and you're refusing to see it for what it is, that's on you. Because you're avoiding the reality. If you look at reality, stop looking at potential, stop looking at hope, stop looking at, oh, but what if? None of that. Look at the reality. What has this person been doing for the last 60 to 90 days? Have they done correct? Have they been right by you? If they've been wrong and you're still making excuses and you're still trying to say, I'm confused, that's a lie. You're lying to yourself. You're not confused. You see exactly what it is, but you're refusing to allow yourself to accept it because you want it bad. So you'll tell yourself whatever. You'll gaslight yourself. At that point, you are gaslighting yourself. Oh, it's a confusing situation. Nah, it's not confusing at all, bro. You just don't want to accept it, and that's okay, because what's going to happen to you is you're going to get hurt real bad. The longer you're in it and the longer you don't tell yourself the truth, the more it's going to get harder to get out, and it's going to hurt even more. I've avoided it because I was too young and didn't know anything about what a narc is. Understandable. Social media helped me out of my narcissistic and emotionally abusive relationship too. Thank you for people like you. Thank you. He says he found later she was married 6 months and she lived at father's house. They were separated that time. Well, I mean, if he found out at some point that the marriage was still happening or that they weren't all the way split up and he decided to stay with her, that's a red flag. You're abandoning your standards, expressions, and stuff. Yeah, because feelings. See, this is why I'm saying everyone talks a lot of stuff on social media. Everybody talks a lot of stuff. Oh, I got these standards. They're to the ceiling. I only date this kind of person. They got to look like this, sound like this. And then they end up with the exact opposite. It doesn't often happen that way. How do people become narcissistic and why? It usually develops at a very young age. People with narcissistic personality disorder, it is an actual mental disorder that happens when they're children. Now, there are people that exhibit narcissistic behaviors that are not actually narcissists. They're just really crappy at dating. So the way they become that way is, they're usually trying to cope with being, insecure, or they don't know how to date, or they are just manipulative and they're trying to get their way. They're trying to have multiple partners. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot that goes into it. Ask yourself this: what's the absolute worst thing that could happen if you leave? Make a long list. Ask yourself, what's the worst possible outcome if you stay? Yeah, and you got to make a list without making excuses. Lied and said I was seeing someone else, so a toxic guy would leave me alone. Feel bad about lying. He cheated back and forth. I broke up with him. 4 months, no contact. Want to get even now? Yeah, that's your ego. What you're talking about is ego. You broke up with him, 4 months, no contact, and you're done. But you want to go back now and you want to get even. That's ego, because you don't love him. The fact that you broke up with him and you left shows that you were done. You can either continue to stay done and stop placing priority on him, because in a way you still lose. You don't get even. You lose because you're going back into a situation. You're going back into a situation that you're clean out of. That's the biggest win right there. But instead of accepting that win and moving on with your life, you're still making him a factor in your life. So guess what? He wins. The second you go back into a situation with him, he wins because you can't leave. That's the biggest win for most of these toxic dudes, is to know that you can't leave. I got you trapped. You make all sense. I think you are wasted on the masses. Well, I look at it this way. God is going to point me in the direction of who needs to hear it. And I do have masses, just not on Instagram. Like on TikTok, I have over 540,000 followers. I don't know why Instagram shuts me down at 166,000. Like, I don't know what that's about. Like, nothing I do gets me out of this box. I've talked to Instagram. They tell me to do these things and I do it. They shut me down. Every other website, Facebook, TikTok, I get followers, right? YouTube, Instagram just does me dirty sometimes. You're right, I'm done. Yes. Would you say you're not toxic or manipulative anymore because you've matured? Yeah, and I went to actual therapy and counseling. Do you have a business account or person IG? What? On IG, that makes a difference. A personal IG. Yeah, I have a business account. I have a business account. Insta is narcissistic. That's funny. Social media is brainwashing the crap out of people. Like I literally go out and I hear people talking about arguments that are happening on social media. I'm like, what is happening? Would you cheat? No, I wouldn't cheat, but I know a lot of people that would. I just don't cheat because I don't believe in it, but I've done other things. Why are you home on a Saturday night too? Because I believe in helping people over going out and, to bars and stuff. And I've been out every other weekend. I'm staying home this weekend. I want to relax. I have a webinar coming up next Sunday. I need to let as many people know about it as possible. So this is more important to me than going out. I'm somebody's husband. I may not be there yet, but I'm trying to act like it. Uh, where are you based? I'm in Virginia. Why do we stay? Fear of being alone, fear of what is true, fear of losing the one. Yeah, but you want to know the main reason why you stay in these bad relationships is because of what you tell yourself. It's more about what you tell yourself than anything. We could talk about all these different fears you have, but the reality is you're telling yourself that makes yourself okay with this. You're making excuses, you're making reasons, you're rationalizing logic, you're assigning good to the bad, and that's causing you to go through these patterns with people that you shouldn't be with. That's the bigger picture. I want to hug you. Thank you. Good for you, Coach Comfort Habits. You're in love with an idea. It's not a reality. Yes, excuses. We have done it. Yep. The second you stop holding on to the idea, first of all, it lifts the weight off of your shoulders, right? Because when you hold on to an idea, you have to keep reconvincing yourself that the idea is true. You have to keep looking for signs that it's true. When you stop looking for signs, when you stop letting things be true, you got the next level, right? Now you can focus on just being in the moment. It's like a weight is lifted off your shoulders and it gets a lot easier. I'll just look at what's happening in front of me. I don't have to make it out to be something. I don't have to talk about something. I can just look at it for what it is. Imagine having a relationship where you don't have to use an idea to make yourself feel better. You don't have to romanticize. It's actually happening. What are ways you can care for yourself after narcissistic abuse? You have to treat yourself the way you were looking to be treated by the narcissist. You have to start to become the person that you love. You have to treat yourself, take yourself out, go places, go out with friends, start working out, focus on yourself. Like start actively doing things that make you feel great, that you never got from a partner that you always wanted. Buy yourself flowers. Appreciate the flowers. Go to the store, buy yourself flowers and say, I deserve this. Because what you have to do is rewire your neural pathways. You have to rewire your neural system. And that's gonna take action. If you don't take action, if you just sit at home all day and don't do anything, it's gonna be a lot harder. You must get approached by many women. Do you like that or do you prefer to approach women? I don't mind either way. In fact, I'm gonna be honest, I think I like to get approached more because clearly, like anyone else, rejection can be annoying. Now, I honestly don't care about getting rejected. I'll approach, but I don't mind. I think that, it doesn't matter either way. Like I don't have a preference. I'm open. Can you tell if your dad is a narcissist? Well, sometimes older folk are a little harder, like if they're up there, because back in that generation, as you go each decade you go back, men tend to get a little bit more misogynist. So it's hard, right? Because maybe they're just misogynists. Maybe they just don't know better because they haven't been to therapy that much, you know? So sometimes it's hard to tell if it's narcissistic or if it's just that they were from a different time and things were different. It's so funny. The narc keeps trying. He said, "You will only be with me if I go to therapy with the actual intent of going." Tells me I need 24/7 therapy. Oh, you're about to flood the gates for yourself. Probably. I was just being honest. I wasn't even trying to fish. But anyway, instead of flooding my DMs, click the link in the bio for those of you that haven't clicked it yet. I have a free webinar next Sunday where we're going to be talking about this. I've put the guys into categories to help you identify what you're doing, what you're working with, and typical strategies that I've helped thousands of women with. If you want to learn, the stuff I won't say on here, go click the link in my bio. Click the link in my bio, go fill out the form. I'm looking for people because I don't have all the spots, but it's filling up fast. And I want everybody to show up because I got something for y'all. I got something that's going to help solve a lot of you ladies' problems. I love Oreos. I know that's random. Right? Wow. Yeah. Like I said, go ahead and click on that link. Don't hesitate. But yes, ask me more questions, ladies. Yeah, because I'm going to show you how to work with me on a weekly basis, right? How to work closer with me on a weekly basis. I'm going to give you that information too. So I'm telling you, I got y'all covered. I want to make sure that we get everybody where they need to be. Player's graduation speech? No, I didn't. How do you know when they looking for help and not love? How would I know that? I don't know how I would know that. Like, I mean, here's the thing. If they need help, then they should go get help. That's not my job. Thank you for the likes, by the way. Thank you for the likes, y'all. It's not my job. They need to go get it. We got Google. You should Google it the way he spoke about women. The Chiefs player? Player speech? What's his name? Oh my God, I hate advertisements. What's your thoughts, main topic, and what's your webinar main topic? Is how to get your power back. How to always get your power back in dating, relationships, regardless of who you're dealing with, regardless of narcissists, manipulators, doesn't matter. I will make sure that you know how to take your power back in those situations so that you don't have to deal with this. Why did I lose it? I lost it. Oh my goodness, I hate commercials. Oh, he's a kicker? Expedia, all your trip, all in one place. Yes, make sure you sign up.
Yeah. It's commencement speech season, and that is, of course, usually an opportunity for community leaders to, some of them.
Just let me see a speech,
Some
man.
of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most
Sign up
excited
on the Excel sheet and you'll get all the information.
to this world. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. Part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men.
Wait, what? Did this dude say, well, what? No. So hold on. Is there more to this? Oh, so this guy is saying that women belong in the house and that men need to play the role of the man. Like he's basically saying, oh, he says more. Oh, so hold on. You sent me a link? There's more. Where'd you send it to? You sent it to TikTok? Where'd you send the link? What are you talking about? Who is this? Where did you send it? Right above? Oh, you sent it in the chat? I won't be able to get it in the chat. It doesn't let me do the hyperlink.
Super Bowl champion Chiefs.
Ramos has this, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you.
Okay.
How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
Wait, what? So he's saying you have to place your marriage and children you bring into this world as the most excitement out of everything else? So I see what he's trying to do. He's saying that women basically have no value without having a man and children. Like they're just baby makers and wives, right? This is what he's saying. Like, why do guys still have this mentality? Like,
Referring to Pride Month.
Dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him.
I couldn't believe it was such an outdated, antiquated view on LGBTQ people and women. And
A song written by a certain famous teammate's girlfriend.
Because as my teammate's girlfriend says, familiarity breeds contempt.
That line from Taylor Swift's Bejeweled.
oh, he took that line from Taylor Swift? Man, this is insane. You know, it's really crazy that we have this mentality that women, you know, are just supposed to be making children, staying at home, being someone's wife. Like, your life is only valuable as long as you have a man in it. Like, men are just so amazing and so top of the echelon. Like, there's so many men that take away from a woman's happiness and use her, abuse her, and they, like, what are we doing? Like, why would he make a speech like that? This is insanity. Guess what? I'm gonna make a TikTok. You know I'm gonna make a TikTok about that one, right? I know that's what we're looking for. I need to talk about this. Like, that's insane. You know, we are going backwards for sure. I would say I would not let this man speak for all men, right? Like, that's a very backwards mentality, and that's not what we're gonna do. We're not gonna say that women are only good if we go back to the 1920s mindset. Do you know what women went through back in the 1920s? Like, I think the woman that first came up with birth control, her clinic was burned down. The only time a woman could divorce a man is if she reported multiple accounts of abuse. To divorce a man, you had to actually report multiple accounts of abuse. How do you even do that? You have to literally get a bruise and then go to the authorities every time and say, look at this bruise my husband did. Because they didn't have cameras back then. So you just had to go show up. It was so hard for a woman to divorce a man. So we have, as a society, moved forward from all of this old school type of thinking that made us bad in the first place. When the feminism wave 2 came into effect, I think that was during civil rights, which was around the 1960s. That was a large transition because when women started to get jobs in the workforce, the men were being physically abusive. They were harassing women. So we have literally come far from this. And he's saying, let's push the agenda of making women think back during those times. Like, no, we're not going to go backwards. We're not going to allow this. Because good luck with that. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for him because I don't know if someone told him this. Because he's young, right? What is he, like, in college? He's college, right? Like, and he's talking like that? That's kind of young. It makes me think, like, who the hell told you this? Who are you listening to? NFL Chiefs kicker. So how old is he? Chris Harrison Butker? Let me see how old he is. He sounds like he's like 80. He's 28. This guy is young. He's talking like he had 4 wives and he freaking sits at home on his rocking chair like Clint Eastwood. Like, what does he say? What? He doesn't even know what he's talking about. See, why do we have to keep pushing our own narrative and what we prefer on the masses? It's like the second they give us a platform to speak, we push narratives. Why can't we just have what we want and let everyone live their lives? If that's what you and your lady agree with, good on you. You don't have to, that may not work for all of us. That's a non-progressive mentality. See, man, he belongs in Congress with all the rest of the oldies. Like, what is this? Nah, man. See, this is why we got to stop giving, we got to stop letting dudes like this have a platform, man. Because all they do is they stir stuff up. That's what we do. We stir the pot. Women are happiest when because I'm a woman and I know what women want. Being a woman myself, I know. Like, what? That's what happens though. We speak for women. Men that speak out of turn for women, that's a whole nother thing. Like, why are you telling women what they want? See, one thing I don't say what I know women want all the time. If anything, I'm like, this is what I believe that they're trying to say. But I don't go like, let me tell you why you're all wrong. You've all been lied to. Your lives suck without it. Without us, without men, your lives suck. Like, what is this? That man was out there to destroy. I wish all men would take your classes. Hey, well, more men are starting to come to me, but you know how it is. It was actually a very interesting speech. I recommend listening to the whole thing, and I cherry pick short clip. Okay. But yeah, no, men do come to me. What do you think of 50-50? What, like man and woman splitting things 50-50? I think that could be a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that mentality. I think a lot of people do 50-50. A lot of different cultures, a lot of different people, they have a 50-50 mindset. I think it depends on the people, right? So personally for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, I'm a little more old school. I like to provide more just because that's how I think. But, I don't think there's anything wrong with splitting 50-50 if that's what you want, right? Like, in fact, I think 50-50 is a little bit more realistic than just the man providing, because the majority of men in the US don't make enough money. You know, the majority of men in the US don't make enough money to provide for a mom, for a wife, a family, college. Like, it is a lot of money nowadays. Inflation has gone up, right? So you could make $100,000, but if you live in the wrong city, it's not going to work. Six figures doesn't cut the cheese anymore. So I think that 50-50 is a more realistic measure for having a family now because of all the inflation and the way the economy has gone. Now, like I said, I want to be the type to provide more, but because I'm that type, I also work more, which means I get less time to be with the woman I love. And that's where I've struggled in dating, because a lot of women like time, and I can't give it to you if I'm working. So you get either I work a lot and I could provide for you, but I don't have time for you, or I get more time for you, but I don't make the money, right? Especially the younger I am. Typically, men, the older they are, they can get to more money, but they also have to live a life where they don't do anything. They don't date, they don't go to clubs, they just literally suffer, and then they get money. Do you think men have an issue with women making more than him? I don't think men so much have an issue with women making more money as they do the mentality, right? They don't want to get into a situation where one person is trying to control the other because of money. I think that's what they're more afraid of. The money doesn't matter. Money has no personality. It's just paper, right? It can give you access to things. It can make things available to you. It gives you options, but who you are as a person matters more. Now, I do agree there are some men that are jealous when a woman makes more money. There are some insecure men, but I don't think that I don't think it's that many, as opposed to men who just, they want to make sure that the money doesn't, if you make more money than me, it doesn't mean that you're going to, try to wield it over me and make me feel like less of a man, right? Because that does happen. That does happen sometimes. Okay, do you think women have certain roles in a relationship? If so, what roles should they have? I think that a woman has whatever role she wants, right? I don't decide what role she should or shouldn't have. Whatever role she wants to be, that's up to her, right? So if you're asking me personally, I prefer a little bit more old school, right? So like I said, I'm going to make the money for both of us. Now, I'm not saying she can't work, but I want her to have the option not to work. Does that make sense? So I'm a little bit more old school in that regard, but I wouldn't turn it down if she wants to take me out on a date. If she wants to treat me every now and then, I wouldn't mind that. But that's how I feel. Cause for my family, I'd like my children to have a close relationship with their parents. I don't want them to look at school as their main, source of reality, because I think that school can be a little bit, confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different people in there. And I'm just a little bit weary of that. I don't want them to have too much of an influence outside the family. She said, hi, by the way. Ha, you're funny. But here's the thing. I'll say this, and then women try to date me, and when they realize, oh, I got to be up at 4 a.m. because I got to take this appointment, or I got this business deal, or I got to prepare for a week, and I'm not around that much, that could be a turnoff. So remember what you're asking for. Someone who works a lot if you want to be provided for. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. By the way, Cindy, for you too, sign up for the webinar in the link in the bio. Go ahead to the link in the bio and sign up for the webinar. If a man tells his woman he can't take her around his friends and he actually never does, that sounds shady or something a woman should not be disturbed by. That's very shady. Why can't he take you around his friends? He's definitely hiding something. What? He's married. Someone said he's married. But yeah, no, if he can't take you around his friends, that's wild. That's wild. I think a lot of them do, even the enlightened ones. A lot of them do what? What did she say again? Low key, hopefully, not too personal. Nah, not yet. Not yet. I don't talk about it on here, but I'll tell you what, if you ever come to an appointment or anything with me, I'll tell you. Are bothered by a woman making more than them. Yeah, I mean, there are guys out there who are bothered by it. Yeah, that's true. Right? Like that there are guys who are bothered by it. Like I said, personally, I'm not bothered by it. But I do know that there also comes a form of treatment with it, right? Nah. It can make a difference, like going on the last minute trips, etc. And that's largely culturally indoctrination, in my opinion. Yeah, I would say a lot of the mentality on what a woman should be versus what a man should be is a lot of cultural indoctrination, like a lot of religious and cultural indoctrination. That's why I say, like, I don't think it's a good idea, regardless of what you believe in. I don't think it's a good idea to force someone else to believe in what you think is right. I think you should also always be open to someone else, having a different idea of what good looks like and just learn to accept it. Like, stop trying to make everyone see things the way you do. Because when you do that, you get in a conflict, things become harder. Like, you lose a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships because you think you're the universal good. And see, the reality is that'll never work because no one is perfect. The only way you could be that type of person is if you're perfect, and you're not. You're going to do things wrong. So even if I follow your way, I'm going to fail because it's not perfect. Until you show me a perfect system, it's not going to work. So you can't know everything. You're not the say-all. You're not the know-all of everyone. I'm not. I'm just telling you the best and least of what I've seen. Now, through practice and rehearsing and whatever it is, I can tell you what more likely it is. But still, there's rarely a 100% unless we're going with pure logic and facts, right? Why can't I see any of the questions? Are you on another stream? Yeah, I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. TikTok has way more people on there right now. Do you have me on TikTok? Oh yeah, no, it's gonna send out a notification later. Let me see if I got people on the webinar. You do not? Okay. That's okay. Hold on, I'm gonna look at the form. I got the form. I can see who signed up. Cindy, you just signed up? I see you. Cindy Cancel? I see you signed up today. I got you on here. For everyone else that needs to sign up, go ahead and get in there. Get into the webinar. Click the link in my bio and you will find a way to sign up. Where's the form? It's in the link in my bio. Absolutely. All right, more questions. I'm going to jump off of here soon. But if you got some more questions, I'll do it. Make sure to get that form. How much is the webinar? It's free. It's a free webinar. Thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you so much. Well, anyway, I'm going to jump off here. Like I said, get into that webinar and we will talk later. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Have a great rest of your evening. All right. Bye, everybody.